Good morning. It is your friendly 310 professor, Dr. Antoinette Linton. And I wanted to take this opportunity to give you more step-by-step instruction on what we're going to be doing for the micro teaching this week. And I'm going to be sharing this video and I'm going to be sharing a handout that'll help you as a guide the through the process, right? So what I'm going to share with you first is the actual Canvas instructions, and I'm going to walk you through that. Then I'm going to walk you through the lesson plan. I provide a very simplified template for that, and then I'm going to walk you through the handout. So this is just a quick overview for this assignment. Also, next Thursday at 4, I think I'm going to do 4 o'clock. I'm going to have a online Zoom Q&A. So if any of you have any questions you want to ask me, or you want to give me a quick overview of your lesson or your video, you want to share that, and you want to get some before the assignments due feedback from me really quick. That is going to be available to you. It is not mandatory, but if that's the kind of time you need, then I will be available for that. So just a heads up on that. You'll be clicking on the Zoom link that I've shared in the syllabus. It's always my personal room. So we'll be doing that this week. So I would like to share the screen. I'll go to the desktop, share. And I want to go here actually and have a look at the activity itself. So I'm hoping you can see this. So this is the Canvas page. It takes you step by step through the assignment. But I'm really hoping you can do this 3 ways. You can find some students or some family members to teach, and you can record and share that recording. You can also teach your peers, your structured dialogue peers, a lesson, and you can do like a round robin and you all can teach each other your lesson plan. And you can give a reflection. Everybody does a reflection on what they've taught. But if you teach your peers, there's a peer reflection on your lesson that you can also share. So we get started with reminding you that this is a 10-minute lesson that you're recording. So it's really quick. 10 minutes goes by super fast. And within the lesson, I'm looking for one, not an elaborate, extensive example of these things, but that you've touched on these things as you've taught. So your student belonging, your disciplinary epistemic practice, I'm going to walk you through what that means. And then embedded and normalized in your lesson and in your teaching, you're going to give opportunities for students to use their home language, support translanguaging, and include some linguistic scaffolds. Now, this is a tie back to your SADI and inclusion activity. So many of you did Think, Pair, Share in your discussions and in your videos. So that is very appropriate here, using Think, Pair, Share, or using sentence frames, or elaborating on instructions, or visualizing the instructions using graphic organizers. So those things many of you have used in your SADI video. That is super appropriate here. The next step is you using the California curriculum to guide your planning. So for English and math teachers, you're going to be using the California Common Core. For science teachers, you're going to be using the Next Generation Science Standards of California. For physical education, art, music, social science, you will be using the state standards for that. So you're going to be choosing a standard, and I don't expect you in 10 minutes to um, quote unquote teach or cover the entire standard, right? A standard could span 3 or 4 lessons. I just want to see that you know how to interpret and translate the standard into a learning experience. Um, then you're going to start your planning. I have provided a very simplified lesson plan that has guides embedded in it, and it covers the rest of the assignment. So if you just fill this out, do your teaching, and do your reflection, you are fine. And the teaching doesn't have to be perfect. Like, you're a baby teacher. I don't expect for you to be pristine and masterful. I expect for you to just be able to follow the instructions. This is to get your feet wet into the teaching process itself, right? So you're going to put your name. Please put your name because I'm going to be downloading all these and I don't want to lose your name. So please put your name. And then uh, who did you teach? Did you teach students? Did you teach family? Did you teach your peers? And what languages are represented in your lesson experience? The grade, the topic, a brief lesson description, 2 or 3 sentences. I'm teaching folks I'm a science teacher, so I'm teaching somebody how to use beakers. That's what I'm teaching. Or I'm teaching part of photosynthesis, or I'm teaching, if I'm English, I'm teaching plot. If I'm math, I'm teaching linear equations. I don't know. But it's just a simple topic here. You cut and you paste the standard here. And once again, you don't have to try to teach the whole standard. I just want you to be able to interpret and translate the standard into a learning experience. So if you just teach a slither, that's okay. You don't have to teach, 55 minutes of a part of a standard. Just 10 minutes. So it's just a little bit. And then specific learning outcomes. I'll be getting into lesson objectives. The guide will walk you through that. And then you tell me how you're going to support language and belonging and socialization. It doesn't have to be in depth. This is just 10 minutes. So I just want you to be aware that this is something that we do. So if you say we're going to do think, pair, share, and students will be able to talk to each other and in an informal, relaxed way, perfect, chef's kiss. That's all you really need to do. So you describe if you use translanguaging or linguistic justice strategies. You describe how the lesson fosters classroom belonging and student voice. You tell me what scaffolds that you're using, any visuals, any graphic organizers, any sentence frames, whatever you happen to use. Culturally relevant examples, like you're taking the standard and you're trying to make it relevant for students. So you use a particular kind of analogy. You only have to meet one of these bullets. You don't have to do all 4. Just one. That's all I'm looking for. So I don't want you stressing out. And then the instructional sequence, how do you launch it? Do you use a video? Do you use a story? Do you introduce it with a visual? That's what you do here. And then you're going to let me know what the core of the activity is. This is usually the chunk of the epistemic practice that you're using. And then you're going to give some sort of exit or dismount for the students that you're teaching. So you're going to have them reflect on what they learned or give them an exit question, an exit ticket, a question they have to answer on the way out of the lesson. And that's it. You're going to describe what assessment you use. This is not a test or a quiz. It could just be having them talk about what they learned, or having them write something, or having them demo something. Whatever you planned in the core learning activity, or whatever your exit move is, you should be able to explain, This is how I figured out that they learned the thing that I planned. And then you have these questions that I copied and pasted directly off of Canvas right here. So there's a reflection piece for you. It's embedded in the lesson plan. So if you just follow the lesson plan and double check the instructions online, you will be fine. And it doesn't have to be pretty. You will be fine. The camera angle can be off as long as I see the students and I hear your voice or see you, you are fine. You can take it with your phone, or you can take it with your computer webcam. We're not making Jurassic Park. We're just demonstrating that we know how to plan a lesson and then enact it with actual Homo sapiens people. Okay. So let me go into the handout that I'm going to give you. This is the Microteaching Planning Instruction Guide. So we're going to use SMART objectives when you describe the learning outcome of your teaching activity. This will embed an epistemic practice. It'll support linguistic justice. It'll apply culturally sustaining pedagogy, and it will include a SMART learning objective. So let me walk you through that. Step 1, pick your topic and pick your practice. So I give examples here. For science, it could be design and investigation. That's an example. It could be something else. In English, it could be analyzing character, motivation, and attacks, or it could be plot, or it could be tone, whatever it is that you're focusing on. History, it could be sourcing and evaluating primary sources. In math, modeling a real-world problem mathematically. In world language, it could be facilitating a target language in a conversation. So I'm going to use my world language example that I used in a prior video. So when you're choosing your epistemic practice, you break it down into steps. So in the world language example, where we were facilitating a conversation, the steps were: discuss the context of the conversation in your home language, brainstorm how you're going to translate that conversation into target language, and then translate it, then practice with a partner, perform the skit in a real world situation, and then reflect on the language use and challenges. That's it. That's an epistemic practice of world language when you're facilitating a conversation. And that's what it should look like. So an epistemic practice should be anywhere between 4 and 6 steps. That's it. And that's how you plan your lesson. So what makes a lesson objective SMART? So SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, right? What exactly the students will do, how will you observe their success? Is it doable in 10 minutes, achievable? Does it connect to epistemic practices, for real? And is it time-bound? So here's an example of a SMART learning objective for my world language example. Students will be able to perform a 2-minute skit in Spanish that uses greetings, questions, and appropriate cultural expressions. So I give you what they're going to do. It's specific, it's time constrained, it's measurable and observable and achievable. In step 4, you embed your linguistic justice. So you ask yourself, how are students' home languages and identities acknowledged as assets, right? So allow students to process ideas in their home language if that's the case. Use multilingual prompts or materials if you're engaging with someone who is bilingual and proficient in that language. Encourage translate languages as part of the activity. So they can go back and forth within their home language and the academic language. Apply culturally sustaining practices. So that basically means you're going to honor student knowledge, use examples from the lived experiences and communities of the students, encourage storytelling or personal examples or choice, and invite students to bring in their own cultural references. You just need to do one of these. You don't have to do all three, just do one of them. And this reflects the lesson plan that I'm sharing. So you have an opening, you have a core, which is grounded in the epistemic practice, and then you have a closing. So you'll submit a lesson plan with a SMART objective. You'll do the students will do a brief reflection, and so will you. And then you'll have peer teaching. If you're engaging with teaching peers, there's a document that they can fill out that's real simple. So let me get out of this. So there you have it. So I showed you the lesson plan. All of these components are in the lesson plan. You're going to record yourself teaching in a 10-minute time frame. You're going to teach your lesson to a small group of students or your peers or your family. The reflection questions are embedded in the lesson plan, and make sure that you upload your lesson plan and or your peer feedback summary if you have that, and then you're going to do a self-reflection. Like I said before, if you have any questions about the assignment, please email me, and I also will have a live Q&A on next Thursday at 4 o'clock. So if you want to slip in and ask me any questions or share your screen and have me look over it, I can give you a thumbs up and I can give you some feedback on it. And like I said before, please, if you have any questions, email me about it. Thank you for your patience. I am really looking forward to seeing you blossom as a teacher. And yeah, so have a great weekend. And I will see your lovely faces and see your great work soon.